All right, what's going on, everybody? So it's already April. March was an amazing month, and what's coming up is going to be even better. And so I want to give you guys a quick just recap of some thoughts I had. Now, this video, it's not going to make sense for people that have not been following the news properly. And what I mean by that is to go against what the mainstream media and the propaganda is telling you in the Russia-Ukraine situation, in the Hunter Biden stuff, in the presidency, in Trump, and so many other things that are happening right now that people are telling you is what your reality is. But really, it's either the opposite or there's something deeper to that. And so, again, I'm not here to argue what's true or not. If you've done the research, if you're keeping up, then you know what I'm talking about. But March was an amazing month because you had an offensive attack, you had the Trump lawsuits, you had liberation of many areas and people in Ukraine. You had the bioweapon stuff. A lot of things are coming to light, and you have the good guys that are being labeled as bad, and you got bad guys that are being labeled as good. And there's many other things, COVID, restrictions and all these different things letting up, and the Biden stuff. And so many things are happening right now that has been really good in March. And so it's been a strong offensive. But I think what we're going to see in April and even further is a lot more. So you'll have, indictments. You have many different things from the Durham side. I hope to see some of the bigger names. We'll see how that plays out. But like I've said before, the exposure, the prosecution, and the justice will be done soon. And so you will see a restoration in some sense of order, of Trump for sure, and many other things that are going to happen. And those that have been following, a lot of people are going to continually write people off as conspiracy theorists, as these alt-right QAnon type people. They're going to label everything. And I've said before, you have to be very careful how you discern news. A lot of people, because it's not easy for them to comprehend a story. It's easier to summarize it, to stereotype it, and to group it with something else that makes sense. All those terrorists, all those, Trump-loving, blah, 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 all these different easy to jab at names are being thrown out. And these people are going to continually attack until they get justice or they get prosecuted, whatever it is. And so again, I've said before, we're in a big, thick war, an information war. So you have to be very cautious. You have to be in prayer, and you have to really seek diligence, or you seek discernment with diligence, and you have to be in a place for which you are in the spirit to be able to be led. And so I think I've said prophetic words also about the scarcity ahead, right? And some of the famine and many things like that. Read an article today, doomsday preppers warn of hard times ahead as preparedness goes mainstream. And I'm just reading it off of Epic Times. Right. And so a lot of even this talk of getting prepared, the supply shortages, you can see the cloud from a distance. It's already starting to come overhead, but it's going to intensify. And so I've talked about inflation. I've talked about how even if you buy now, it doesn't hurt, right? You're buying something cheaper now than it would be later when inflation continually occurs, when stagflation continually occurs. And so it doesn't hurt to consider and pray about basic preparedness. I didn't mention the length and the time and when it is. I don't believe the Lord showed me exactly those things, but I believe that if you prepared at least 3 months to a year, and I'm not kidding you, for an extended amount of time and be ready for that, then I think you'll be in a great place. Now, don't go out and just start spending, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars and empty your savings account if you don't know, what you're doing. But you got to start researching. You got to start praying. You got to start being able to make appropriate decisions right now, because what's coming, even as the mainstream media says, which even with that, you got to take with some skepticism. They're attributing the wrong things, nuclear, chemical, biological warfare, and all that stuff. Those things are not going to be widespread in the earth and in the world. And so I'm declaring that, right? But the threat of that, the talk of that, the rumors of wars and rumors of wars, all that will be there, but do not be alarmed, is what the Bible says. And so in this time, I'm telling you, it'll get a little worse, only to get better. People have been asking me, you said it's going to be great, it's going to be good. Yeah, it's going to be good after the justice and all of this fight that's happening. We're in a time now where it's very epic. It's one of the greatest moves of God, like I've said before in our time. And this will lead to better things, greater things afterwards. But for now, there's going to be a little bit of a hardship, a little bit of a battle, and you have to be ready. And so, again, if you are in a place for which you are spiritually, mentally, physically ready, and in terms of preparedness, basic preparedness, and all that, you'll be in a good spot. But for now, be ready for a lot of things: justice, exposure, information warfare. They're going to tell you certain things to believe this, to look at this, to laugh at this, to cry at this, to be angry at this. But you have to, again, be very cautious of how to consume, how to discern, and how to go about asking the Lord for decision making and for discernment in that space. So again, March was great. A lot of offensive. They turned it around and said, "Oh, it's a nothing burger. Oh no, it's stupid," or whatever it is, right? But again, if you actually follow the news, if you actually read through it and not the propaganda, you know what I'm talking about. March was a great offensive month for the good guys, for the people that are patriots, whatever you want to call it, right? The people that are on the side of fighting global evil. But now there's more to come. There's a lot more things, because you have to continually see that this battle, it's thick in the information realm, and then underneath, a lot of things are happening. So there's panic in the air for the enemy. There's panic and there's chaos in their camp, and they're going to continue to fight their every breath until the end for them. And that end is coming. And so it's going to be good, the outcome, but until we get there, there's going to be a little bit of a rough patch. So be ready, prepare, and be prepared. April's going to be great. May's going to be great. And we're in for some good times ahead. So again, be encouraged, guys. I'm saying this as a word of encouragement to those that are following, that know other people, they're just going to yell, they're going to argue, they're going to say all these different things. It's not true. But again, they're not following the right news. They're not looking at it from a spiritual perspective. They're not looking at it with discerning eyes, right? And so God bless you guys. Be encouraged. Talk to you guys very soon.